Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Beanie and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about something that was kind of a hot topic yesterday after SDS released their GameStop Monday video where they were talking about all the new additions to Diamond Dynasty. One of the biggest things that people wanted to talk about was the new attribute system and exactly how they were going to scale that. Another thing that I didn't talk about yesterday was the tier system and how they the diamond seems to have a lower threshold and gold seems to have a lower threshold, and how that could affect like the market and pack odds and stuff like that. And a lot of people really didn't like it. It seemed like a lot of people felt like SDS was going the route of Madden because of the new tier system and the new attributes and all that. Well, I'm gonna tell you that I'm not gonna talk a lot about that in this video. But I am going to tell you that I don't think that the new tier system is going to be the case. In fact, that's going to be the case with the new tier system. As long as they don't put in a progressive release system like Madden does, where they, at the beginning of the year, they release really, really bad cards, and then they just get progressively better as the year goes on. Rendering early releases is basically useless, and it leaves the player always playing catch-up. That's kind of what Madden does. I don't think that that's the direction SDS is going, and I don't think that that's the purpose of the tier change. I think that the tier change, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are implementing this new attribute system where you can crack the 99 overall threshold, and I think it was just kind of a necessary thing to readjust the tiers and how how high you have to be a diamond. I just think it was kind of a side effect of that. And so I'm not too worried about that. I could be wrong, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. But the thing that I do want to talk about today is how they're going to scale the individual attributes in relation to 17. Meaning, what will an 80 overall in 2017, what will that look like in 2018? And in my opinion, there are two viable options that they could go with. I think one of them is pretty unlikely, and I think the other one is probably going to be close to what we see. The first is basically the scale stays exactly the same, except that there is no more cap, and players really are capable of being 25% better than they were in 2017. I think that this is the more unlikely scenario. I don't think that SDS is going to up the cap on how good a player can be by 25%, even though that's, I guess, what it kind of looks like in the trailer. You had some players that had 125 overall something. You would think that would be 26 points better than being a 99 overall. But I don't think that that's the case. I think that that's going to be the more unlikely scenario. I think the far more likely scenario is that they just scale all of the attributes up a little bit to try to compensate and try to balance it out to where 125 basically equals a 99 overall from this year. And the purpose of removing the cap was just to have more points to work with to create more nuanced players, to where, I explained this in the comment of my last video, but to where the real outlier seasons are able to be rewarded for being so good. Kind of like, well, let's think of a guy like Aroldis Chapman. Nobody throws as hard as Aroldis Chapman. So Aroldis Chapman can now have 125 velo, and nobody else is going to come close to that, or very few will most likely come close to that at all. So that's the benefit of this, and like I said yesterday, there are two ways to accomplish that. Either you can scale down or you can scale up, and they decided to scale up. So today we're going to be taking a look at what the attributes, like what a 2017 attribute will equate to in 2018 if they do decide to scale all the attributes up by 25 to 26%. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so basically what I did is I took an attribute in 2017 and I just multiplied it by 0.25, or a quarter of one attribute point. And I figured that would get me to about what the what the attribute will look like in 2018, and I think the results are gonna jive pretty closely to what you see next year. And basically, if you had a guy who had 50 overall something last year, let's say he had 50 overall contact, well, in 2018 he's probably gonna have somewhere close to 63 overall contact. And you'll kind of notice a pattern with this, that as the attribute gets higher and higher, that it grow, like how much better the attribute will be in 2018 will grow kind of exponentially with that. Like if you have a 50 overall, it's going to grow by 13 points. If you have a 60 overall, it's going to grow by 15. If you have an 80 overall or a 70 overall, it's going to grow by 18, and so on and so on. And so like I said, if you have a 60 overall, you'll have a 75 overall in 2018, 70 overall, an 88 overall in 2018, an 80 overall will be a 100 in 2018 if this is the system that they decide to implement. A 90 overall will be a 113, and obviously a 99 overall will be a 125 or somewhere close to it. And this is kind of the route that I see them taking, just because if they decided to keep the scale the same and just break that 99 overall threshold, I feel like the game balance would start to become an issue. And I think that this is one of the things that was really concerning people yesterday, is that they were assuming that they were going to go with option number 1, where they just keep all the attributes the same and just crack that threshold. I really, in my gut, I think SDS is smarter than that, and they realize that they are going to have to do some balancing. Now, it might not be exactly 25%. They may decide to go with another formula to kind of figure out how to scale it to where it makes sense for 2018. But to me, the 25% mark seemed to be the most obvious thing to go with, 25 or 26%. Since, you know, the attribute cap, assuming the attribute cap is 125, that was the highest that we saw yesterday. Who knows? It could be higher than that, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to be a 125 cap. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to see, though. How will they decide to scale? I have a feeling that we might have more info on this on whenever they do the Diamond Dynasty stream on, is it Thursday or Friday that they do the Diamond Dynasty stream? I forget. But I do think we're going to have more clarification on this. This is just my 2 cents, and it's just kind of an educated guess on where I think SDS is going with this and the reasoning for them putting this in. And like I said earlier in the video, guys, do not freak out about the tier change and all that, because I really do believe that it's just kind of a necessary component of the way the new attribute system works. And I don't think that they're putting in a progressive release system like Madden, where you're always playing catch up and you never feel like you have an OP team until, you know, like the very end of the year or something. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I don't think that this is going to a pay to win model. I saw some people say that. I don't think that that's going to be the case at all. And yeah, I you know, just kind of keep your cool. I think everything is going to be okay, guys. And yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys, once you really kind of dig into it and see what they're trying to do here, I hope you guys are excited about it too. Anyways, guys, I was just going to make this quick little video giving my 2 cents about what I think that new attribute system is going to look like. I hope you enjoyed it, and please, as always, like, subscribe, comment your opinion on this, and I will see you guys later. Peace.